did it take you to figure out the story in your head?
I think quite a long time, because you start working on the story and it takes one shape, and then you show it to some people, like the people at Theatre Centre, and you go, how does it look? Because I've gone mad, I've been spending too long working on it. And they kind of go, well, this bit is good, this bit is not so good, so can we work on this bit? And da, da, da. So over time, it turns from one story into a sort of more interesting, maybe more complicated, maybe more fun story, because every time that you write, you spend a month working on it, then you show it to your friends, and they go, this is great, this bit is a bit boring, can we get rid of the boring bit and put a great bit in instead? And then they give it back to you, and you write, oh, okay, have a get rid of the boring bit, this is great, put the great bit in, and you work on that for another month. So it goes on for quite a while, so I think it was probably on and off, maybe most of a year to sort of get it right. It was sort of like the early bits of the story, that didn't take very long, but to get the story working and to make the story tell the story that we wanted, to give the right message and make it interesting and make it exciting, it's probably about a year.
Did Toilets tell anybody what he saw when he saw Chris fighting?
Well, I don't think he did, because he saw his big brother having this really kind of horrible fight and winning. And sometimes if you see somebody that you know and somebody that you love doing something like that, it scares you. It's a bit of a shock as well, and you don't know quite how to react. So if this person who was having the fight comes along and tells you to keep quiet about it, then you might keep quiet about it. So in this case, Toilets didn't tell anyone else about what he saw.
Why did Toilets do what Chris said when they were playing with the BB gun?
Oh, okay, because he's got a lot of respect for his big brother, and he looks up to his big brother a huge amount. And there's a bit of Toilets that wants to be quite like his big brother, so he kind of wants to, if his big brother says do this or do that, there's a bit of him that will kind of want to do that. Although there is a bit of him that kind of goes, I'm not interested in guns, or I'm not interested in fighting. And so sometimes inside yourself there's more than one voice, and one of the voices is going, do this, and the other voice is going, no, I don't want to. And you don't always know which one to listen to. And I think that happens throughout your whole life, and when you're an adult as well, you have a few different voices going, you could do this, you could do this. Like with, in cartoons when they have a devil on one shoulder and an angel on the other shoulder, and they're both saying different things. That's a bit like that. And I think this time he went with what his brother said, because he wanted to impress his big brother.
Create the magical world.
It came out of my head. That's the fun thing about writing stories, is that you get a piece of paper, and sometimes you draw pictures first, and you just sort of empty all the stuff out of your head onto the pieces of paper, and you try and use enough words so that the person reading it can kind of go, oh, it's a bit like this, it's a bit like this. But you don't want to use too many words, because you want the person who's reading it, whether it's like you guys reading the script or whether it's the director and the actors, you want them to have their own ideas as well. So you don't want to give them a complete picture. You want to give them like little bits and hints and clues so that their brain can start working out the rest. But yeah, so the way that the world was made, it was sort of out of my head, and then there was thinking about Toilets and the kind of boy Toilets is, and trying to wonder what world he'd create if I could open up his head and have a look and see what was inside, what kind of world he'd make. So yeah, it's out of my head and out of Toilets' head, but Toilets is out of my head as well. Well, thank you both very, very much for your questions. I've really enjoyed coming to visit you here at your school. So thank you very, very much. Thank you. And thank you very, very much. And I look forward to seeing you when we come and do the play here.